guys, it's Shelly here. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for joining me on this video. Today I'm going to be continuing with this page from Tales from the Forest Kingdom by Hanna Karlzon, and I've done the background. As you can see, I'd added in the flowers, and so I've completed all the background, and now I'm going to be starting off with the skin on this lady. And I'll talk you through what I'm doing, but I'm not the best at skin anyways, so we'll see how it goes. And so yeah, as I'd shown in the previous video, I had whited out the hair. I've only done this the second time, so I want to see how it works. I'm not sure if it will work for me or not, but we'll see how it goes. So I've whited out the hair and the eyebrows. I'm going in with my lightest shade of pencil for the skin first, just putting down a base with very light pressure. I'm usually very heavy-handed, so I have to be quite careful that I'm not putting too much pressure, because we're going to have to put a lot of layers down. So I have to make sure that I have enough tooth remaining on the page to keep putting down layers to perfect the skin. So I'm literally just putting down a base at the moment. I'm not going to cover up these dots. I know a lot of people tend to. I don't always cover them. I think majority of the times I don't. Sometimes I just leave them as a black outline. Sometimes I put glitter gel pen on them. I'm not sure what I'll do yet. I might see if, depending on what color gemstone I go for, I might see if I do it the same color maybe as the gemstone. I don't mind these little features that Hanna Karlzon adds to her characters. I quite like them. Makes it unique, makes it her style. So I don't tend to cover them up myself. Yeah. There were some lines here. I didn't know what to do with them. Like, it was confusing me with regards to how I'm going to do the shadowing there. So I just whited those out as well on the nose. I like to do the skin first because once I start putting color around the face, so like the hair or the clothing, I've only put a base layer of Tombow. There's a risk of pulling those colors that you put down, the pencils that you put down, onto the skin and causing smudging. So I like to do the skin first so that I don't make the skin look dirty. Now I'm going in with burnt ochre, and I'm going to assume that the light source is coming maybe directly from the top like that. So I'm putting the burnt ochre into the areas that will have a shadow. So there will probably be a shadow. We need to make it look like the jewelry is sort of standing off the face, not part of the face. So creating a bit of a shadow around the jewelry now as well. I'm still using very light pressure, going in very lightly, just laying down the color. With this shade, we'll start to see a little bit of the shape of the face coming through. So we'll be able to tell, okay, we like the look of how the shape or the shading is coming along before we start going in with darker colors, or before we start to try and blend everything. It's best to just place down the color, see that we're happy with the shadows, the highlights, and then finalize by blending everything together. The skin tone I'm going for is just a light skin tone. I'm still learning a lot when it's coming to skin and hair. So the only skin tone I'm usually comfortable with at the moment is light skin tone, but I am working on trying to do other skin tones too. But this is the one I'm most comfortable with. So as my first video on a larger area of skin, I thought I would use the light skin tone. Part I find the hardest on the face is doing the shading on the face, the shadows, is the nose. I find it really hard to do a good nose. When you do the really light, you don't use much pressure and you keep it really light, there's also a chance that you can erase areas when you're not happy with something. It's really hard to erase pencil completely, so therefore keeping it light may just give you a bit more chance to erase something if necessary. Okay, then I'm going to go back in with my light flush and keep creating layers. Again, still with light pressure, but this again helps creating the layers, making sure that at the end of the process of coloring in the skin, that the skin will hopefully look flawless. Okay, the next shade I'm going to go in with is Rose Carmine. So it's quite a pink shade. It's to give more of a, you know, rosy, glowy effect to the skin. It's nice. It'll give like a fresh look. I'm sort of putting it in the junction between my medium tone and my light tone. So between the burnt ochre and the light flesh. And you can go a bit darker in the around the cheek area so that it gives a rosy cheek effect as well. So again, very light pressure. Just around that cheek area is where I put a little bit more color for now. This is now the darkest shade, and I'll be placing it in the darkest shadows only. Because I find that if I put it anywhere else, other than the very darkest shadows, it may make the skin look a bit dirty. So it looks like it's taking shape. It still looks really messy right now, but that's because we haven't started doing the blending process yet. But with the dark shade, now we can see a little bit more of the shape of the face coming through. I'm going to go back in with the other shades now again, just to work on building up the layers and then finally, hopefully, smoothing it all out. I want to make these dots look like they're protruding, so if the light source is from the top, the shadow from these dots will be just under the circle. So you can already see just adding that little bit of the shadow underneath them just makes them look 3D. So more than looking like just stickers stuck on the face, it'll probably look like gems, depending on what color I do. It'll look like piercings or gems. So now I'm just going to work through all my pencils over and over until I'm happy. This process is not even that large a portrait, but it takes, at least me, it takes a while. Just going over and over in layers to create a smooth effect. So yeah, it does take a long time. I don't mind doing skin, I'm not very good at it, I'm still learning, but the process of doing it is quite therapeutic. I quite enjoy it. I'm just going to go sharpen my lightest shade now. Make it nice and sharp to start doing the blending process. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. And we're going to get started on trying to get the blending done now. So I'm going over with my lightest shade. And I'm pressing a little bit harder now, because now we want to start smoothing everything out a bit. In addition to that, I'm now going to blend with a blender pencil, just to make it even smoother. Okay, so I'm going to do the eyes first now. I'm going to leave the eyebrows out for later. When I do the hair, I'll do the eyebrows at that time. I don't know what color to do the lips yet, so I'll leave that out too. So I'm just going to do the eyes now. I'm just putting medium flesh into the corners. Warm grey too, just very lightly to base the entire, is it the cornea of the eye? The white bit. And then I'll go in with warm grey 3. Just to darken up the inner and outer corners to make the whites of the eye or the eye look more rounded. And then I think I'm going to go in with the warm grey 5, I think, again to darken up just under the eyelid. I'm going to do green eyes. So when I do eyes, I do them quite simple at the moment still. Again, I'm still learning. I choose 3 shades of the color I want the eye to be. So a light, a medium tone, and a dark tone. And then just put the light right at the bottom. And then I put the medium tone going down maybe 3/4 of the way on the iris. And then on the top bit, I do the dark green. And then I can add a bit more shadow, which I will do, I think. And I sometimes just go around the pupil a little bit, like that. Yeah. And then Payne's grey is going to be just to darken under the eyelid a bit more. Just so the eyes don't look dead to us while we're working on the page, I'm just going to add the Posca 1 dot for now. Okay, so now I'm going to do the neck and the hands. I have no idea how to do hands. I'm just going to be winging it. But I'll start with the neck. I'm using exactly the same shades as I used on the face and the same process. So I'm just going to speed through this. Okay guys, I'm going to be doing the hair. I already did these 2 strands on camera, but for some reason it got deleted. I don't think I had enough space on my computer, and when I was trying to transfer it, it didn't work, and I had deleted it from the trash already, and so I lost that footage. So I'm just going to show how I do hair again. And I'm just going to show a couple of strands. As I was saying in the deleted video, I don't enjoy doing hair very much, so I tend to break it up with other whips that I have on the go. And so I'll show a couple of strands just to give an idea of how I do my hair, my brown hair, and then finish off the rest off camera, and definitely not in one sitting. So just give an idea of what I will be doing for the hair. So I go in with my lightest shade first. It's not that I dislike doing hair that much, it's just that this flicking motion to me is a bit, I prefer doing the little round circles, blending all the pencils together. I'm not a huge fan of just sitting here and doing lots of flicking. So that's why I tend to, especially when there's lots of hair on the page, I tend to flip between pages that I'm coloring and not force myself to do the hair all in one sitting. Otherwise I'll just burn myself out and not feel like doing the rest of the page. So that's what I do. I'm darkening up that area. It looks like to me it's underneath that strand of hair. So the areas I'm putting the dark shades is at the roots, under jewelry, you know, where there would be shadows. And then also to me it looks like where my highlights are where the curves are going in towards the face, and the darker areas seem to fall. I think this is what usually happens with me, but they tend to fall where the curves of the hair is going away from the face. And I'm trying to do strokes that are not even, so some different shades are coming into the highlighted areas, but I'm trying to maintain those highlighted areas as much as possible. This is my darkest shade of brown now. Now, I don't like to leave those areas completely white. Usually I would base those areas, like the hair completely before I go in with my lightest shade. I don't know why I didn't do it this time, but sometimes it helps me not to base, because then I remember where I'm placing, where I want my highlights to go. So sometimes I just leave it white and then go in with my lightest shade lightly again over those areas of highlight, but definitely not too hard, because you don't want to lose that highlight. You want to keep that contrast between the dark black area and the lighter areas. All right. things, so I'm just going to fill up that little bit of white I've left in the highlighted area with my lightest shade. Now the rest of this hair I'm going to do off camera, just so I can mix it up with my other pages that I'm coloring, keep myself motivated, not burn myself out. And once I'm done, I will be back with you. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and I hope to see you on the next part, which will be the final part where we finish off the page. So till then, bye bye.